Well, let's get more on all of this with our London correspondent Laura Makin-Isherwood, who joins me now. And Laura, what do we know about the detail in Boris Johnson's Living with COVID plan?
Well, we are expecting the Prime Minister to set out exactly what he's thinking of doing this afternoon in Parliament, telling MPs what his plans for moving forward and coming out of these COVID restrictions will really entail. But we know that the biggest headline, of course, is that decision, we think, to remove the legal requirement for people to self-isolate if they test positive for Covid-19. That, of course, is being pointed to by the government as a result of the successful UK COVID vaccination programme. That's what ministers are saying anyway, saying that, 91% of people have had at least one Covid-19 vaccine. 66% of people are now fully vaccinated with that third booster jab. And, of course, looking at the daily case rates and the death rates that have been relatively low by comparison to the number of positive tests that have been taken over the winter period, that the government says is enough to signal that it is time to move forward. The Prime Minister has basically said that the last 2 years have been one of the most difficult times in the United Kingdom's history, and he's really pushing towards this state of new normality and moving towards a world without these restrictions in place. We understand he is having a meeting with his cabinet, that's his top team of ministers, before going to Parliament and setting out those rules there. So we'll have to take a look at that. And also we're expecting potentially a news conference later this afternoon, so those rule changes can be set out to the public too.
OK, and what are the opposition parties saying about Boris Johnson's strategy?
Well, one of the biggest criticisms really is this potential move by the government to stop free testing for the general public. The opposition party Labour have said basically that's like the Prime Minister declaring victory before the war is over. The Welsh Government as well has criticised that, saying that that shift could be quite negative. And of course, people need to know if they are COVID-19 positive to prevent a further escalation of cases spreading around the population. The Prime Minister, though, has revealed, and the government data has revealed, that actually around £2 billion was spent on testing in January alone. At the moment in the UK, you can apply online and get tests sent to your house. You can head to testing centres and get PCR tests free of charge as well, and that all costs money. So with the government trying to emerge as one of the first economies without these restrictions, and also trying to boost trade for people as well to be coming to this country by removing travel restrictions, it's definitely a push by ministers to try to reduce costs on testing and, as I've said, boost that economy further.
And finally, Laura, is the rollout of this plan that we're getting today linked at all to Boris Johnson's domestic travails with parties and so on?
Well, there were plenty of people wondering if that was indeed the case before MPs broke for their recess over the last couple of weeks. Of course, we know that the Prime Minister is having those parties that took place inside Downing Street investigated by the Metropolitan Police. Now he's understood to have answered questions about what took place there, but he is still refusing to confirm whether he would resign if he was found to have broken any rules or indeed issued a fine by the Metropolitan Police. So critics, of course, wondering whether this is convenient timing. The government, though, say that it's the right thing to do to live with this new sense of normality as we depart from the COVID-19 pandemic here in the UK.
OK, Laura, thank you.